Guys, I can't believe what I just heard for Canada. I had to pop this filter real quick because I didn't have time to get ready, but I just finished watching Trudeau's reaction to the tariffs and what he's gonna do.
And now is also the time to choose Canada. There are many ways for you to do your part. It might mean checking the labels at the supermarket and picking Canadian-made products. It might mean opting for Canadian rye over Kentucky bourbon, or foregoing Florida orange juice altogether. It might mean changing your summer vacation plans to stay here in Canada and explore the many national and provincial parks, historical sites, and tourist destinations our great country has to offer.
Yes, I don't know if this is a good one. We are going to see the end result. When you take a look at what Patrick Pet David put out here, Mexico and Canada about to file for 77% of Canada export go to the United States. 84% of Mexico export go to the United States. Both of them rely on America. Quick tip to Trudeau. Step 1, read Act of the Deal. Step 2, take a cold shower. Step 3, call Donald Trump to apologize. Step 4, pray. That is simple. I don't understand why these people thinking to do this. At a certain point, America can survive alone without any of these people. So I don't get the point. Struggling to fight this war, it will be something. At the end, we are going to see.
Mexican president announces retaliatory tariffs on the United States. Canadians boo American national anthem at Ottawa NHL game. British Columbia says it will no longer buy American liquor from red states in response to the United States.
For our first of many steps, effective today, I have directed BC liquor sales to immediately stop buying American liquor from red states. Liquor store employees will be removing the most popular of these brands from government store shelves.
Tariffs, that's oddly specific.
I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Ce soir, j'annonce.
Shut that shit down. We don't want to hear your French. Listen, if it's a tariff war that these countries want, if this is what you really want to do, bring it on. We have learned anything over this last four and a half years in this country. It's how to be resourceful. We will outlast you any day of the week. Also, my understanding that Canada is going to do its best to implement a lot of these tariffs specifically in red states. Pretty much the entire country is one giant red state. A tariff war, you got it, because the reality is that you need us way more than we need you. We're going to be just fine. I don't know if this is posturing. I don't know if you're trying to spread fear. I'm not really sure, but this isn't going to end the way that you think it's going to end. When you go bankrupt and we have to swoop in there and pick you up as the 51st state of the United States of America, you better hope and pray that we even still want you after that. Fuck around and find out.
For the past 20 plus years, most people live in this country live paycheck to paycheck. Some of them are in more debt today than they were just yesterday. You can't afford a house. Some of you drive a beat-up car, or maybe you can't even afford a car. You work like a slave just to pay the bills. And for the first time ever, we have a president that is willing to introduce a crazy idea. Tariffs. You and I are being taxed in hell. 20, 30, 40, 50% of our paycheck goes to Uncle Sam. And this has been the norm. But if you look statistically speaking, when you start imposing tariff, they're generating an income stream for the government. But the media has taken the story and spinning it to the way that somehow you and I will be paying extra for those fees. Okay, If I'm paying a 10-15% more on a cost of goods and somehow the government start making enough money from tariffs, and then you give me that 30-40% of taxes that you would charge me every single year through the income tax, I call that a win. But majority of these companies, when they start getting tariff that high, they realize, you know what, maybe it's best for us to move and open up a factory in America. And with it, we'll hire Americans, because they can't just fucking bring H-1B visa workers from their foreign country when we have people here that can do the exact same work. And you already said it. If you come and you put $1 billion plus in a business, we'll cut down all the red tapes. It's straight up. So this is the thing. There is a double-edged sword. From one side, there's hell. From the other side, there's mercy. If you want to carry on with your business and keep importing this shit down here and sell it, it only makes sense that you pay the house a fee.
Unfortunately, the actions taken today by the White House split us apart instead of bringing us together. And now is also the time to choose Canada.
Yes, Speaker Johnson responded to this tweet from Trump today. I have implemented a 25% tariff on import from Mexico and Canada, 10% on our Canadian energy, and a 10% additional tariff on China. This was done through the International Emergency Economic Powers because of the major threat of illegal aliens and deadly taking away the lives of our citizens, including we need to protect Americans, and it is my duty as president to ensure the safety of all. I made a promise on my campaign to stop the flow of illegal aliens and from pouring across our borders, and Americans overwhelmingly voted in favor of it. Speaker Johnson responded, President Trump is positioning America to be safe and successful again. Today, he is holding Mexico, Canada, and China accountable for their rules in the flow of illegal. These countries are now on notice to work quickly to stop the madness. This is long overdue. This is what America wants from these people. So struggling to fight back is what I don't understand. You could just, take a decision, fight, stop all the flow of these people. That is simple. Fighting back without looking into what is a problem is crazy to me. What measures have this country put forward to fight against this?
Put into place at a statement several weeks ago continues. The president will be implementing tomorrow a 25% tariffs on Mexico, 25% tariffs on Canada, and a 10% tariff on China for the illegal fentanyl that they have sourced and allowed to distribute into our country, which has killed tens of millions of Americans. These are promises made and promises kept by the president.
The president yesterday said that last night he was planning to discuss whether an exemption would be made on oil imports. Do you have any information on what decision he made there, or will there be exemptions at all offered under this?
I don't have an update or readout for you on the exemptions, but those tariffs will be for public consumption in about 24 hours tomorrow, so you can read them then.
As we're in a critical moment. As President Trump stated yesterday, he is still committed to placing tariffs on Canada starting as early as tomorrow, possibly. Now, we don't know precisely what that could look like, but I do know two things. First, if the president does choose to implement any tariffs against Canada, we're ready with a response. A purposeful, forceful, but reasonable, immediate response. It's not what we want, but if he moves forward, we will also act. Patrol helicopters began monitoring the border earlier this week, and new canine teams along with imaging tools are being deployed to detect and stop the flow of fentanyl. Meanwhile, our previously implemented border measures are already showing results too. We've ended the practice of flagpoling, when temporary residents travel to the United States only to immediately return to Canada to access immigration services, a decision that's saving Canadian and American border officials time and resources. And we're bringing in heightened security for visa applications, which has resulted in an 89% drop in illegal crossings by foreign citizens to the United States in the second half of last year. This is real progress as the...
Thank you guys for always been there sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. I put clips at the end. That is for the algorithm. You can end here. I'll be glad. And please remember to always share out the videos. God bless you.
early on, immediately.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10 to her.
No, the EU does not treat the U.S. fairly on trade and that he has some big complaints. Is that true?
Right? And it doesn't mean that we should sit and pretend that it's suddenly okay, that this new presidency is just going to keep on keeping on. That is not the case. And because, final point for me, a year and a half is because...
This is the United States.
You're talking about a man who didn't become the president of the United States because of merit.
This lady is not.
Where awful things have happened. So,
And sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
are funky in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning, and I flew here last night. I was on the plane, getting texts.
So I am evacuating my home.
What we need to do against what we know is right, and these are the results.
Trump is now calling that Gavin Newsom should step down.
This is you getting water to areas that need water because there are fires in 100-mile-an-hour winds.
The situation is beyond control.
For the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
right now you're looking straight. Remember it.
As a country about January.
Yeah, and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad.
I want to be,
Jim Jordan.
The 5 tenants of
Palisades Village right here. This is the town center of sorts.
And he did this little dance.
Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, had some.
And then we watch the news or talk to my friends.
Now look, I have a lot of fear that as
I'm not going to dignify his remarks.
So now, in the wake of a national tragedy like Wednesday's fatal plane,
this is